Hello. Well, it all happens this weekend. 30th of November 2019, new rules and regulations come into force in the UK. Anyone flying a drone, all model aircraft that weighs over 250 grams or half a pound must have two registration numbers. An operator ID that's attached to the drone and a flyer ID that's got to be kept on your person whilst flying. If you own a drone that's over the minimum weight, you have to go online to register-drones.caa.co.uk, pay the £9 registration fee that will cover any number of drones you own, get your operator ID and then attach it to your drones. If you're doing the flying, which most of us will be, you also have to pass an online test to get your flyer ID, which you then need to have with you whenever you fly. It's not the most straightforward of procedures, but non-compliance risks a £1,000 fine, and this applies to hobbyists, professionals and international visitors as well. So here is a link to a video I made the other week on what's involved and how to pass the test and get your operator ID and your flyer ID. You can also get further details on my registration page on my website inlondon.com, which outlines everything you need to know. For now, I'm heading down to the BBC Essex studios to explain live on air what's involved and who it affects. So, until next time, have fun, happy flying.
Because a lot of people regard drones as toys nowadays. Well, they're not. New rules on drones come into force this weekend in Britain. Machines over a certain size will need to be registered, get this, with the Civil Aviation Authority. Yeah, and the police have got new powers to force you to land your drone as well. Let's find out more about this. Joining me is a drone operator from Chelmsford. He runs a YouTube channel called Ian in London. Ian, good to have you on. Thank you very much indeed for coming in.
Thanks, Dave. How you doing?
It's really great to have you here.
Good.
Look, tell us more about these new rules.
So, yes, simply you do have to register any drone that's over 250 grams.
250 grams. Now, that's nothing.
It's nothing. I mean, okay, your listeners can't see what I'm holding up here, but this is the new DJI Mavic Mini that you would kind of think DJI have just produced. Can I have a feel, how light it is?
It's nothing,
plastic, isn't it?
It is nothing.
That's 1 gram below the minimum weight.
So this one wouldn't
technically need to be registered, but pretty much every other model that people fly has to be.
Just if I can just put it in context, it's slightly bigger than a computer mouse, isn't it? The central body of it, and it's got 4 arms coming out of it, which are probably about
a couple of inches. I mean, basically, the main body is the size of a mobile phone, or the footprint of a mobile phone, and then the little legs pop out. But,
so very small.
So, I mean, this weekend, it actually went live at the beginning of this month, but it was optional until it was the introduction period, if you like, from Saturday. Well, it becomes mandatory. Any drone over 250 grams needs to be registered. And as you said, it's with the CAA, the Civil Aviation Authority. It's a little bit of a shame because I think they've slightly overcomplicated things, because the majority of people who fly drones are owner-operators, if you like, for hobbyists. They've just got themselves and their drone. But sadly, the CAA have developed this 2-phase system. You've got the legal operator, who is legally responsible for the drone. That's the operator ID. And you also have the flyer, the person who's holding the remote and doing the flying. And you've got to get 2 separate IDs, and you've got to do an online training course as well. And the fine for not doing this is up to £1,000. So it's serious stuff.
And this is anybody who has a drone over 250 grams.
Which is almost every drone that people play with, yes.
That is unbelievable. You've got to go through all these things. So you've got to get your 2 IDs, you've got to do your course, you've got to register it, you've got to pass the course, I assume.
It's not as terrible as it might sound, because basically, I mean, it takes about 15 minutes to do the whole thing. It's all online. It's not a total disaster. And, you know, you do have to study. They've got about 5 different web pages that gives some very good information on where you can fly, where you shouldn't be flying, and your responsibilities. And then at the end of that, you have a 20-question multiple choice test, and you find out immediately whether or not you've passed or not.
Right.
So it's not as bad as it sounds.
So is it sort of things like, should I fly my drone over Gatwick Airport? Yes or no? Hang on, let me think about that.
Probably
Ooh,
not.
No.
Well, you've got the new rules. You can't fly anywhere within 5 kilometres of an airport.
So they've extended
But
that, haven't
they
they?
have, yes, because
Yeah.
it started off being 1 kilometre and they quickly upped it. But, let's stand back a second. You're saying how Hornby, one of the main, model railway operators, well, DJI are one of the main drone manufacturers.
Yeah.
And I have to say that they account for over 70% of sales in the UK. That most drones are DJI drones, and they all come with electronic geofencing, it's called, which basically stops you flying near airports. It will literally not let you take off if you're anywhere near an airport. They also have beginner mode in the application that won't allow you to fly more than 50 metres away from where you are, 30 metres in fact.
So how do we get all these problems arising? Because we do get problems of drones being hit by planes, drones flying near airports, airports being closed,
So let's go back a bit. I'm not really sure any drone has hit a plane yet. There is a lot of worry. But as far as I'm aware, there has not actually yet been a single instance of that.
Okay.
Yes, of course, Gatwick was a complete disaster last year, but I think the police have already admitted that, it was an industrial drone, not a regular consumer drone. And the way they were flying it repeatedly, they do think there was an element there was ulterior motives. It wasn't some donkey who'd just gone down to Curry's, grabbed a little drone and started to do mischief.
Right.
So there's more to it.
Yeah, nicely put. So you sound a bit sceptical about these new regulations. Didn't something have to be done?
Yes.
Because it was getting a bit crazy, wasn't it?
No,
so many drones around.
It is the new registration process is, I think, a little bit too complicated for 95% of users.
Will the Civil Aviation Authority be able to handle? Because there must be thousands of drone operators who are going to have to register,
and they already have been.
Right.
It's all done online. It's all done electronically without any input from the CAA. They've been building this website for the last 6 months. I was involved in some of the beta testing before it went live, so you could give feedback. I did give feedback that I thought it was a little bit too complicated. You think of like a car rental fleet. You'll have the manager who's legally responsible for the cars, you have the individual driver, and that's the approach they've taken with the drones, which I think is a bit of a shame because it overcomplicates it for most users.
Drones have become really big Christmas presents for people over the last few years.
They are fantastic things. They produce beautiful photos and videos when you're out in the country.
When you're out in the country, and that's a problem. Yeah. You put this sort of technology in the hands of an idiot and you're going to have a problem, aren't you?
Yes. Like I said, you do have some very good programming in the applications that stops you going anywhere near an airport. Yeah. That program won't stop you flying over somebody's house and being antisocial
or fields
in that respect.
With animals in.
That's it. It's just like a car. There's responsibilities you've got to take on and rules that you've got to adhere by.
What about the drone community? And I'm sure there is one. Is it self-policing? I mean, do you find out about idiots and go, look, son, you pack it in?
If you see a photo posted on Instagram or a YouTube video that is clearly flouting the rules, you can just watch all the comments and flaming.
Really?
The drone police, as they're called, will absolutely flame those people and tear them to pieces. But the fundamental issue you have with the registration is that somebody who's out to do mischief doesn't have to register. There's no link between the registration and the app that's controlling the drone. And this is something, I think, a real missed opportunity by the CAA.
So let me get this right. So I could actually go out and buy a drone that was, I don't know, a kilo or something like that of weight, which would have to be registered.
Yes.
And I can basically stick 2 fingers up at the registration.
That's right.
And they couldn't find me.
Could
they find me?
They could fine you. Fine you?
Yeah, no, they couldn't.
No, unless you're flying irresponsibly and somebody's complaining, and the police were actually due to come down and see you.
How could they sort that out then? Because there must be some way of doing it so that if you're flying a drone, somebody would know.
Well, the issue you've got is that it's like scrambling over farmers' fields, isn't it? It can be done for 20 minutes. I don't own a scrambling bike, by the way.
Right. Yeah.
But it's that sort of thing. people will fly the drone and within 20 minutes they're gone before the police could even get there. But as you said, the police have got new powers. They can demand to see the registration document and your flyer ID and your operator ID. And if you can't produce it, you can be fined. But really, I mean, if you're flying out in the countryside, who's there? Where are the police? So this is the issue I have.
So very briefly, Ian, if somebody is thinking of buying one for their family member for this Christmas,
Yes.
what would you say?
I would say the DJI Mavic Mini is a fantastic new beginner drone, not because it's 1 gram below registration requirements, but it is a lightweight, easy to use drone that has got a lot of safety functions built in. So yeah, that's basically it. I've got all the details on my YouTube channel if you do want some more information. I've also got a little website, ianinlondon.com, where I've got all of the rules that are coming in. And yeah, there you are.
Ian, thank you very much indeed. And it's a great shame they wouldn't let us fly it in the
Yeah, I
studio.
know, I was up for that,
I think
but,
they worked on the principle.
it was a bit of a health and safety
Well,
thing.
health and safety, if you chop the presenter's nose off with the drone, it doesn't go down
Probably
particularly
more
well.
the equipment, but never mind.
Well, possibly, yeah. They don't care about me, do they?
There you go. I think I got my point across nicely there. So anyway, another radio interview under my belt. It's all quite good fun, isn't it?